Good afternoon. This is my Wakelet created for the third 9 weeks, week 3 social studies for first grade. It goes over goods and services and the associated standards along with it. This is a Wakelet created to cover Tuesday through Friday. It is an introductory unit and it wraps Friday with a formal assessment done through the application formative. This Wakelet is created and they're using an application on my students' Chromebooks. When they open up their Chromebooks, they sign in using a Clever badge. This Clever badge essentially logs them into Clever. And I downloaded an application for Wakelet onto their Clever. All they had to do was click on the application logo. It looks like a big blue W, and it takes them directly to this web page. This web page starts off with my mentor teacher's name and information, because in order for me to upload this Wakelet onto their Chromebooks, I did have to use her credentials, but I have her permission. This is the introduction that I created to the Wakelet. It goes over the standards that we will be learning about, our objectives. It is helpful for parents as well. They can understand what it is that their student will be learning for social studies for this week. It also explains that if they have any questions, they can contact me through email or through our Messenger app that we use on our phones. For the first day, Tuesday, January 17th, the week begins on Tuesday, because when I taught this, it was actually on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. So we weren't in school Monday. This explains what we're going to be going over for the day. I instructed the children and parents if they want, or for them to watch this video. It goes over basic information on goods and services. They will complete this seesaw activity. It is a sorting activity, and in this activity, it has a my students have already added their responses, but it has pictures where they have to sort between goods and services. In my video recording on the Wakelet, I have an explanation on how to, complete this activity, things like that. This ticket out the door exercise just says, how does this work make you feel? Raise your hand and give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. This can work both in person and online. They can use the Zoom application to give me the thumbs up emoji or the thumbs down emoji. Or if they're in person, they can just quietly raise their hand. I worked really hard to make sure that this Wakelet is both in person and entirely virtual, so that way it can be used at any time. This is my Wednesday day. I have my instructions for the day here to complete this Brain Pop Junior video. It is link set up through Wakelet or through Seesaw, but all they have to do is click on the link and up pops the video. It has quizzes, things that they can do, wordplay activities that they can complete as well if they do want a little extra practice with it. If not, they go to Studies Weekly. This is something that I don't have access to on my personal computer because it is set up through my mentor teacher's credentials, but they log into it using their Clever badge and complete the activity online. But because I had my lesson done in person, I actually had the physical activity book for Studies Weekly for week 3 or third 9 weeks, week 3 social studies that covered goods and services that they did as with partners. If this was done and online, they could complete the exact same activity just by clicking this link. They log in using their Clever credentials, which is pretty simple. If they click on this link and then click on right here where it says login with Clever, it pops up with the same activity book as they would do in person. Once again, this is a ticket out the door activity to wrap up Wednesday. It is a seesaw. I have directions here on how to complete it, both in English and in Spanish. I do not have any Spanish speakers in my class, but I do have some parents that are more fluent in Spanish, so I did want to provide that if they needed it. This is a wrap-up activity for the day, so it's to list 3 things they learned, 2 things that they found interesting, and a question that they still have. This kind of gives me a good idea of what it is that I've covered and what they need help with. Um, there are responses that they have done, but once again, I don't have access to that on my personal computer. Here is Thursday's activity. My instructions on how to complete Thursday's work. It's a video that has questions they can answer by pausing the video just to check their knowledge. And then a formative practice test. Because formative is a formal assessment, I cannot access that on my personal computer, but I do have a PDF copy of their formal exam that they took on that Friday. This practice test just has a couple sample questions from that test to see where they were at and if I needed to cover more information before they took their final test. Their ticket out the door exercise is to draw their favorite good or service. For an in-person activity, this is done using a sticky note or a scrap piece of paper that I would pass around. For a virtual activity, they would be given a link to a Google page where they just draw out their answers. I've used it several times with my younger children before, and they absolutely love it. Finally, to wrap up the week Friday, I do have information on how to complete their formative assessment. This video also gives them a little pat on the back and explains that their final test will let me know exactly what they've learned, what we still need to go over, and things like that. I do have a copy of that test. I have it here from my mentor teacher. She has given me permission to view it, but I do not have permission to view it on formative. But this is the exam. Fill in the blank is the first question, which is the service, A or B, another fill in the blank, things like that. It's a pretty simplistic test, but this was actually created by my school system to assess how much they know at the end of this week. There is a lot more information that goes into this. This is just the introduction, but we also start to cover imports, exports, producers versus consumers that all build off of this information. Since this started towards the end of January, we are already doing testing on importing and exporting and consumers, things like that. But this lesson is used to scaffold into more complex concepts. I also know that my students have a lot of experience using Seesaw in the past. Wakelet is an entirely new application. They have never used it before, but I figured that they would 100% be able to understand it as long as the links and things that are associated with it are things that they have used in the past. And they are very familiar with YouTube. They're very familiar with Studies Weekly and Seesaw. And formative is, they are given a formative test at the end of every week, sometimes a few formative tests on Fridays. So I felt fairly confident with their ability to complete these. The parents can also, if this is done entirely on Zoom, can also comment on this. They can follow the page so that way they get updates anytime I post, links, things like that. They can like the Wakelet and that links them to this Wakelet. So anytime I change or edit, they are given a notification. To share it with others is pretty simple. You just click share and give them the link. If you have any additional questions that you need from me, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much.